Summer parenting hour. We're preparing for the kids to be out of school. We just talked about the pressure parents feel around playtime. Now, a new article, also in The Atlantic, is asking a question that raises another challenge this time of the year. Why do so many parents think kids need their own rooms? The summer can be a time to achieve milestone sleeping goals, whether having kids get a good night's sleep in their own beds, away from mom and dad, or maybe in their own bedroom, separate from their siblings. Of course, finances and space come into play. But if you can give your child their own room, should you? Does it affect their sleep, their character development, their ability to share? Parents online, believe it or not, are torn about the best way to handle this. Take a look.
This has weirdly become like a controversial topic. Kids sharing bedrooms. Should you do it? Should you not do it? I always just thought it was very normal to share a bedroom with your siblings.
I think that you should not be having kids that have to share a room with each other. I know what it was like to share a room my entire life and not being able to express myself. Like, there's literally zero privacy, whether it's a phone call, whether it's changing.
So we had our two kids 3.5 years apart. I never anticipated them ever sharing a room. Honestly, it has been the best thing.
All right, joining us from her kid's bedroom is one of the moms featured in that video, Paige Connell, and to weigh in on the pressure parents feel to give kids their own room is licensed clinical psychologist who's studying the very topic right now, Chanda Reynolds. Chanda and Paige, welcome to the show. Okay. Chanda, I'll start off with you. Your twin is here right now with us. You grew up sharing a room with your sister. You also shared a dorm together in college, and you're studying this. What do we glean and learn from the study of kids sharing rooms?
Yeah, so one of the main things that I've experienced and the research has also exposed is that when siblings share rooms, they're able to develop skills like empathy, social learning, how to play with one another, how to resolve conflict in a way that's acceptable in society.
Yeah. So, you know, you will have kids yelling at the screen right now saying, I can do that in my own room. You're right next door with only a wall separating us. How does that physical wall change their ability to have empathy?
Yeah, so it gives them more opportunity for that. So if a child is more likely to be isolated in their own room, they're less likely to have those opportunities where they can be able to share empathy and to problem solve and to experience fighting and things that we do as kids growing up that they're able to.
Well, yeah, because the most epic battle you can have is the bunk bed. Who gets the top and who gets the bottom?
I had the top.
Right, you got the top. That is where, you know, things change in the relationship. Paige, you have 4 kids, ages 8, 7, 5, 3. The 2 youngest have shared a room since they were babies. So you said the hardest part isn't the sharing, it's because bedtime turns into a whole production. When kids share a room, we have a clip of what you're talking about. Let's play it.
Something my husband and I started doing, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago when my 3-year-old started to become kind of a real pain when it came to bedtime, was we separate them for bedtime and we let our 5-year-old just kind of fall asleep in our bedroom. So we'll put her in there with a few books, she'll lay down, we'll put on our travel like Hatch sound machine, and she just falls asleep in our bedroom while we work on the 3-year-old, or we just like let the 3-year-old figure it out herself. And then when we go to bed, we just move our 5-year-old.
Okay, that sounds like a bigger production than when they're in the room. So you let her fall asleep and then you carry her to the room.
We were doing that.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
And then when she would wake up in the room, she's like, who moved me? What am I doing in here?
She didn't notice at all. She would just wake up and be like, of course I'm in my bed.
Okay. Chandra, I'm fascinated by the research angle of this because in that article that I referred to, it says teenagers feel lonelier than ever, and yet we're walling them off in their own space. That hit because we're dealing with the sleeping. I have an only child. He wakes up every day at 4:30 a.m. He walks to the bathroom and then walks into my bedroom. So I have this roller coaster about it.
For sure, for sure. And it's lots of research, going back to what you were saying about isolation amongst kids and teens and things of that nature. That's something that we actually saw an uptick in since the pandemic.
Right.
Because of how social media played a role in just feeling so isolated. It's natural for humans to want alone time, but isolation and too much of that is actually definitely a sign of depression and anxiety.
Right, and research shows, I mean, our goal's always been to get a bigger home, and the bigger homes got, the further we are moving away within the confines of the home. Paige, what is your takeaway from what you've experienced, what you want to share with families?
Yeah, I shared a room with my two sisters as well. I'm also a twin. And so we shared rooms growing up. And it was one of my favorite things. And we're all incredibly close and we talk to each other constantly. And I do think it really taught us empathy for one another, but it also built trust in one another, right? It really built a solid foundation for our future.
I love this conversation.
And I hope for that too.
Yeah, I love this because somewhere there's a kid who's asking for their own room who's turning the Tamron Hall show off right now. But I think it's fascinating. I love that it's also linked to research and how we're trying to understand development. Paige, thank you. Congratulations to you and your family. Father, thank you. Great research. You can follow them both on social media. Coming up, summer brings more freedom for kids. Remember when they used to say, go out and play until the sun starts to come down? Well, more questions for parents. How much freedom should you give? There's a new phrase. It's not helicopter parenting. It's called air traffic control parenting. We'll find out what that means after the break.
This show makes me feel like the luckiest kid in the world. Join the fun and be part of our Tam Fam audience. Go to TamronHallShow.com. See you there.